Hi everyone. So today this video I will show you how to build a police tracking API. So let's start how to do this one. So before that, like those who are watching this video newly, kindly go through my channel. So beyond doubt. So regularly like I'm uploading like technical related videos and also like development videos which will helpful for your future. So like if you want to go through playlist here. So this playlist like I'm maintaining every video with separate topics. So which will help you like to understand like the details, like example like API mocker big node to export. So here you will get all like API mocker related videos. So same for WSO2, if you go through this playlist, right, you will get like step by step process like these videos. So like this is the way like how I'm maintaining in this channel, so which will helpful for my subscriber and also upcoming subscribers, like to know like what are topics I'm covering this channel. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's go through my requirement analysis to understand like how I am building this API and what all functionality I'm just explaining this video. So which will help you like build a API mocker using like means after watching this channel. So let's start like how to do this one. Let me go through requirement analysis. This is one schema. So if you see here, this is one method like I'm using your get method. So as usual, like how like a particular like we will use through online, how we will track that one. So here like the initial stage, while any user is want to like register and complaint to the particular police station, how they will find out. So first like I use your get method. So get method I'm using your one slash police and station. So here like I'm printing all the police station which is available like in the backend system. This is a list of it. This is a sample like how you can build a project or how you can integrate in your corporate like to use this one as a before backend ready, how you will prepare this one. So these are some list of like items I added here. So while any customer is hitting this particular endpoint, how they will get that one. So after using this endpoint, they will get like one array. So inside array I'm adding multiple JSON here. This is one for nested array. So nested JSON. So they will get like a multiple list of details by using this endpoint. So second one like just for like a high level, let me explain you. So once we like prepared everything, we'll test end to end flow to make sure like how this flow is working. Second one, police fire FIR like register. So any like new like user want to register and complain, the initial stage like they are register their FIR in police station. Same approach how they are doing, like I'm adding here few field here like complaint ID or a victim name or a crime types. This is like few details like how like the online registration is happening here. So I'm adding here two type of response. One is responses, one is switch responses. If our field is not matching with any of the condition, then it will call this FI registration failed. So we will add some data in this particular file. So whatever data we are configuring here, it will print that one. Next one like in switch responses, just example like as I mentioned, like complaint ID or a victim name or a crime type. So we will use one configuration here. This is like victim ID and the name, that particular name, and what is the type of like crime type. So we will use here. So after using this one, like whatever filter criteria, if it is matching with our condition, as of like those who are regularly watching my channel, they know like how to build API using API mocker. So same for like this is one type of scenario. I just took it from like which is required, I think. So you guys at least know like how you can build API using different kind of functionality using API mocker. So once this condition is succeed, then it will print this one. It will call this particular file and we will get response. Same for this is one type of one more scenario. So you will get this one. So this is the alter, like if you want to update or if you want to register one more new means criminal details. So here, so this is the way like how you can achieve here, and this is the like one API how you can handle this thing. So in victim details, how you can like register in your backend system. So this is the like while you are using this API, you will get the data from the backend and you will register like this way. Next one. So if you see here, after register any complaint like police FIR status, you already register a complaint of the victim. So how you will track that one? So there is one more option I added here. So if you see your switch details, in switch I'm passing your FIR ID. So depends on FIR ID, will there is two more field. As we know, like while you are building any APM occur, you have one response field is here and a switch response is here. Response is like none of the condition is matching with our filter criteria, so it will call this 404 or 500, depends on your code, like what kind of code you are using in your schema. Then it will print see, depends on your configuration. So this is one type of configuration I'm using like this way. If my none of this condition is matching with one, so I'm using your 404 code and I'm calling this particular file from the backend FIR status not found, right? Whatever data is available inside this JSON file, it will print that one. Next one, same for this is one type of FIR number, 1001, 1002, 1003. Depends on my filter criteria, it will call. If it is 1001, then it will call FIR status registered. Second one, like if it is 1002, it will call like FIR status under investigation. Third one, like if FIR status like 103, FIR ID. Okay, so it will call FIR status closed. So this is the way how yeah, I'm just maintaining like 4 files within this API status API, right? So next one, there is one more thing, like after checking the status of this FIR, I want to update. So if police FIR update I want to use here, this is the API, like how we will use this API, like we will pass FIR ID and update type. So if the case is already it's updated with the next step, so how we will see that one. So if the condition this is my FIR ID and this is also like investigation started, this is the like update type. So if it is however, like we are building any application, if it is in progress or done or succeed, that kind of way, right? So this is the one type of scenario, in FIR ID I'm passing your FIR ID number here, and the update type, like I'm passing your investigation started. So this is one status, like I'm passing as a request payload. So if I'm passing this one, while any if the API is to this particular switch response, it will check if this condition is available or not. Depends on that, it will call this FIR update status JSON. If this FIR ID and investigation type it is you are passing different, it will go through this response. This response it will call 500 code and you will get FIR update failed JSON file. So we will get one failed response from the backend, and whatever data is available inside this particular failed file, so we will get that one. Next one, after we check the status, check the, and also we verified the register. This is the one, if in case after FIR close, this is one API which will call from the backend system. So in upcoming videos we will see actual real data. This is one mock data which is already configured in the backend system. Whatever data already configured, you will get that one. So next one, what it is happening here, so we will use post method here. So in post method we are passing FIR ID. After FIR ID, we will check that particular case is closed or not. So FIR ID here is the primary ID. If it is matching with our this FIR ID, if it is matching with our switch responses, it will go through this particular mocks file. It will call this particular JSON file. Okay, so you will get one JSON success response from the backend. Whatever data is configured this file, right, you will get that one. If this filter criteria, like particular API, if you are passing different FIR ID which is not exist in switch response, right, then it will call this response. Inside response it will check the error code 404, and inside mocks folder we will call this particular JSON file, and whatever data is configured within the JSON file we will get that one. So I hope you guys are understand. There is this is one more endpoint I'm using, close endpoint one. So this one is second one, update. So third one, I'm using here FIR status. So fourth one, I'm using here FIR register, and the fifth one, we are using police stations. There is 5 endpoint I'm using here this video, so you will get end-to-end flow, starting of this FIR register to close. So what are the steps in following by different defense team. So we will learn this video how a actual API will build here. So either you can integrate in your project, or you can just for your reference you can try in your system. So which will help you to make confident how API mocker is working. So see why I am using API mocker. Basically the production, like the actual endpoint making this kind of functionality, it will take more time. So before, like how we'll check our source code is working or not. So for this purpose, I'm just making different kind of functionality of the videos. So you guys can integrate this kind of functionality in your videos, which will helpful for you to understand how the API is working in real time scenario. So in upcoming days, like we will prepare the actual endpoint. That actual endpoint we will consider as a production flow, and this flow we will consider as a sandbox flow, means the mocker flow. So we can use a two-way communication, like to verify our code is working or not. So let's start to configure this one to make sure like our code is working. So in that way, like we can make confident, like okay, our code is stable to handle this all kind of scenarios. So let me copy this one. Okay, so before copy, like this configure, let me explain you like what kind of request I'm passing and what kind of response I'm just showing to the particular endpoint or particular user. So they can able to confident, okay, this is the sample response we are passing to the particular endpoint, and they can able to get that one. So here like police station, right? So here police station, I'm passing your get method, so which I will get the list of item. Here you can see, right? So it will call the status list JSON file, and you will get the list of stations which is available in your city. The second one, like register success. So if the complaint is registered, so police FIR register, right? This is the payload we will pass as a request payload. So if you go through here, right? So here, like there is one JSON file which I configured for register success. You will get this kind of response. The status is success and the FIR ID you will get, and the registered date you will get it here. This is one sample response. That's why you are getting the static data. So if we are using production flow, you will get dynamic response from the backend. So next one, like if any new user want to, like new user is did the means complaint registration. This is one second, like alternate success. So here, like complaint ID is different one, a different person here. So here, like the crime type here and the station ID. So this is one payload we are passing for alternate success. So this is one update of the new case. So how we will handle here? So we already created one JSON file for FIR register alter. We're passing one more response like success here. This is the FIR type here, and the register at here. This is the way, like one sample response I configured here. So which will like make user like, okay, so this is the response we are getting by passing these particular details. The payload you can see, right? So we are passing your complaint type and also station ID, and also criminal type here, victim details. These are some like default field value which are passing the payload, and we will get that response. The next one, like the failure case. So if in case like we are unable to pass complaint ID or victim name or station ID, so the payload itself also not able to understand like which one they want to pass and how they will get response. So in that scenario, I prepared one JSON file here. So here, like the status is failed here, unable to register a pair and missing invalid data. This is the like way, like how you can handle this scenario as well. So next one, let me scroll down. There is one more endpoint. So police FIR status. So after registering a complaint, how you will track? How you will track your particular case is status is where? So I just took it like for FIR ID, one for like a register case, second one for investigation, third one like for closed case, fourth one like for not found. So if we are passing four different type of FIR ID, which will help us to actual understand. So how like this is handled by the actual like the flow. This is mocker flow. So you will get the static response only. The same for response also I configured here. One for like registered here, which is status. You can see registered, right? Second status like under investigation. The status here also under investigation, and the FIR ID is different. Third one, like if FIR already closed, so you will get the closed status here, and the FIR ID also we are passing different one. So the last one, like we are passing some invalid like FIR ID, right? So that case you will get error here, no FIR found in the provided ID. This is the four way like how we will handle this kind of scenarios. Now go through next one. So here, like there is one more endpoint we are using for FIR update. So here, like there is three type of like ID we are using. one for 1001, that is for investigation started. Second one, like see the status, you will get like register status after register any case. Update, like after register, where the status, like where is the case is already already in progress or where. So here like update endpoint, here like there are three type of scenario. One, if you are passing FIR ID like this way, you will get investigation started. Second one, like if you are passing like this FIR ID, you will get witness interview. Third one, like if you are passing FIR for 9 years, so it's like invalid update. So we'll if you are passing an invalid data, we will not get any response, right? So if you see here, let me go through request here. So you can see, right, this is the request. Let me go through response. So here you can see, right, so let me show you. So here like FIR status, like here you can see already like successfully FIR updated here. It's like interview started, so investigation started. Second one, like FIR update failed, so that is failed here, we are unable to find. I think one more I missed here. So I think that video interview, right? Okay, I will create one JSON file manually and I will add some data, that is fine. Then the next one, like we'll see this close endpoint. So this FIR close, right? This is like FIR ID is 1001. If you are passing this one, and we will pass some remarks here, investigation completed. Second one, we are passing some different like ID, so which is not matching with our filter criteria. Then that case we will print unable to close here, or close case already closed, case not ready. So here like this is the response I'm passing here. If the data we are passing all the already invalid one or already not started, so the status is still in progress or not in progress, it's like still the initial step itself, you will get like fail to close FIR or case not yet marked for closure. So this is the way like how we can handle a API. See, this is one like your how you will use different kinds of functionality, so which will help you and make confident like okay, so this is the way like how API mocker is working, what all features is providing by API mocker, so we can handle like this way. So let's quickly create some JSON file to verify like okay, so this is the way how we can configure in our system. Let me copy this one. This is one schema. Okay, let me copy this one. Now let me go through we need to configure this one in config.json file, right? So let me right click this one, this config file, and open this one as a notepad plus plus, so we can easily like verify all the steps here. So now, so in the previous video, like those who watched already, I completed how we can book a train using API mocker and what are the status like you are using here. So starting from here and ending from here. Okay, so now we need to give one comma and add this particular like value to make sure like all the configuration file is available in config.json file only. Let me copy this one and make an indent, so it will make you clear like starting with where and ending with where. So as we know, like we are using Postman for making any indentation. Let me open new tab. Here go through body and select this raw data. Here I am modifying this one to JSON here. Let me paste here. Let me beautify. Now let me copy this one. We go through configuration and replace this one. So now it's making like beautify, and also we are able to see all the configuration is a proper manner. So we can easily like configured one by one JSON file. So now we will do what? We will create all the mocks data. So this one you can see, right, after mocks folder, there's some JSON file is available here, right? So we will create all the mocks data. So which will help us like to configure all the endpoints data which is required for testing purpose. So let me right click this one. Let me quickly like create one by one, so without wasting any time. So here let me go through mocks folder. So all the source code actually we are maintaining in Git. So those who want to explore like what all things already we covered, kindly go through my Git here, that slash API mocker. You need to just drop down this one and go to Narayan-develop. So this is the branch like where I'm maintaining all my source code. You need to go to API mocker folder. So this API mocker folder on configuration is there, and mocks data also which is already exist in our particular folder. Kindly go through that one, you will get some idea. So now let me go through mocks folder, open this blank file. As usual, like we are saving this particular file So in this particular folder, right? So save as. Here let me modify this one to all files. Let me add it here and save it. So this particular file, like as you already aware, like we will use for adding all the station details which is exist in your country or city. So let me add it here. This is one sample like example. Okay, so in actual, like it will fetch all the country state details. Depends on that, it will filter all the district and substation and all everything it will get. So this is one sample like how actually like in a backend it is happening here. So you will get some idea in a real time scenarios. Next one, like this one we did for police station, the list of police station, right? So the next one we'll use for register API. So for register API, there is three files here. One for register failed, register success, and register alternative. So let me quickly copy this one. This one is we are using for failed, right? So let me copy this one. So same approach like however like I did for list of station, right? So let me save. Let me save as. So here let me modify to all files and save this one. So here we will add some failed status data. If in case we are unable to register the FIR, what kind of response the end user will get. So let me scroll down. This is one status I configured here. Let me copy this one and configure here. So this one like we use for register failed status. So let me close this one. So the next one like we will use for register success. So if we are able to like register a complaint against the victim, so how like the response it is looks like. So there is one more API also is already there register. So there like we configured one endpoint. So here let's complete this process. Adding one particular file here and save it. So this particular file will add like successful response. We are able to register the case, right? So let me copy this one. So here let me add it here and save it. This is one successful response. The next one like we'll use for FIR register alternative. So let me copy this one. So here like let me go through save as, and also here modify this save type to all files. Let me add a particular file and save it. So here we will add an alternate like different like case type and different details. So here you can see, right, where FIR register alternative. So let me copy this one, and here we will add the particular response. So whenever like in end user will hit this particular backend API with the payload, you will get this kind of response. So the next one, that is for like register of FIR, right? The next one like you are used for after register in case. So how police will like check the status of this particular FIR. So if I scroll down, there is four type of mocks file we are using, right? One for like register, second one under investigation, third one like status closed, and fourth one like status not found. So let me copy this one. So let me copy this one. So this file will create the same folder, same mocks folder. Let me open this blank file again. So here and let me modify to save as. Here modify to all files. Let me add one more file. So this file like we will add the failure scenario. If in case like the status is not valid, in that kind of scenario, let me check it here. So this one is for like status register. This one is like for investigation. So this one is for like closed. So here like one more value is here, right? So this is for status not found. So let me go through this particular file which I created now, right? So let me save this data. So whenever like we will pass on different like wrong FIR ID, we will get this kind of response. So the next one is for like FIR register successfully, that one. So let me copy this one. So here let me open that blank file again. Here let me modify to save as. Here also change to all files. Let me add it here. So here we will add some register data, right? So let me go through this file. So here the file is here, right? Let me copy this particular data, copy this one. So let me go to the file and add it here. This one is for like FIR status register JSON file. Let me close this one. So the next one like we'll use for FIR investigation, right? So where the investigation status. So let me copy this file name. So let me go through here. Okay, let me open this blank file. This one, let's go through save as. Here modify this one to all file. This is the way, like I think those who are regularly watching my video, they already aware like how to build a API using API Mocker and what all steps also I'm following here. So this one is for investigation. So let me copy this data here. So here let me go through here and paste it. This one is for FIR status investigation. Okay, now this is done. Next one, like if FIR close, so how will print a response to the backend user? So this is on backend response. So let me go through the same blank file again. Modify this one to save as. Here also save type as modify to all files. Now add it here. So here also we need to add some data, right? So let me go through here requirement analysis. So here also I'm maintaining one response here. So let me quickly copy this one and add it here. So now we already we done the 4 files. So which is required for this particular endpoint FI status, right? So this API we done the 4 file. Let's scroll down. Next API is like FIR update. So after update, what kind of response we will get? So there is two type of files I created here. One for update failed and one for update success. So let me copy this particular file like update failed, right? So let me copy this one and go through here. So here like same like let me open this blank file, modify this one to save as. Here like save type to all files. Let me add it here. This is like the update of this FIR. So how will if update failed. So if in case the status is not exist, so how we will print this one? So let me scroll down. This is the update failed status. So let me copy this one. Okay. So here let me add it here. Let me save it. This is for update failed. The next one like we'll use for FIR update status. It is for successful status. Let me copy this one. Open this particular blank file. Modify save as. Here also change this one to all files. Let save this one FIR update success. So this particular like FIR update success file, right? So let me go through this file. So this is a successful response like so let me copy this one for update FIR updated successfully. So let me add it here. So this is done for FIR update success. So the next one like this is completed for this particular API FIR update API, right? So the next one, there is one closure of this FIR. So if in case your case already closed, or if the case all is while closing there is an issue, so what kind of response like we will show that one to backend system. So from backend to particular user, how we will print that one. So for this close FIR, so let me copy this 404 JSON file. Let me copy this one. So this particular folder, let me open this blank file again. Modify this one to save as. Here also change the save type to all files. Let me save it here. This one is for close failed status. Okay. So here let me go through this file. Let me copy this content of this file and let me add it here. This one is for like close failed status. Okay. So let me close this one. Next one like we are using for if the case successfully closed. So let me copy this one. So here like new documents, modify this file this one to save as. Here also change this type to all files and add it. This is for successful response like while you are closing any particular FIR. So how we will manage here. So let me go through the analysis here. So this is the file like how we will pass this one as a response to the particular end user while they are using this particular filter criteria of this FIR ID. So let me save this one. So now we completed all the files which is required for this all kind of scenarios. So one for like close API. So second one also you use for update API. The third one like you used for like status of this particular FIR. Fourth one like to register FIR. The first one, the last one like the station which is available. The list of FIR, like the list of police stations. So these are like some few endpoints which is required like to complete the whole journey, like to complete the full end-to-end flow of like police status API. So which will help us at least we need to aware so how like actual like backend which is handle with this kind of scenarios. So let's start like to testing end to end flow to verify our code is working or not. So before testing also we need to restart API Mocker to make sure your updated changes which is available in API Mocker configuration and which will help us to complete the whole flow. So now make sure like while you are adding anything, just make sure save this one. So let me go through this terminal here. So let me cancel this one. So here also we need to execute this node server.js. So while you are starting, if in case there is no error in your screen, that means your API Mocker has been started without throwing any error. So how you will verify API Mocker is running or not? Let me go through browser. So here you can see we are using over here 9437 port, right? It's a custom port. So which is available if you scroll at the top. So here you can see, right, the port number we exposed within this custom port. So while you are starting any API Mocker, right, you will get this port. So if you want to modify, kindly modify as per your requirement. So you can use in your like configuration file and modify that one. So let me go through Postman here. I think the previous API already using it. So let me copy this URL. This is the base host which will like tell you the API Mocker is running or not. Let me paste here and execute. So now you can see, right, it's showing what cannot get. So that means API Mocker has been started. So let's like test end-to-end flow of each API, that pipe endpoint, right, to verify all the endpoints is working as expected or not. So let me go through Postman here. Next new tab. So as our first step, let me go through my request here. This is my fast get my API which will like print the police station details, the list of police stations which is available from the backend. So let me copy this one. So make sure there is no space you are taking, right? So just copy properly. So here there is no request payload for get method. Let me click none here and I'm adding here. So while I'm hitting this particular API, right? So now you can see these are some list of police station which is exist in Mocker, API Mocker. This is one JSON, this is one more JSON. So like you can see the station ID and the details. This one few like nested JSON which is already exist in the array. So whatever like stations which is available from the backend system, you will get this one. So this API you learn like what are like the list of JSON file which is configured for this slash police and station slash police slash stations, right? You will get this kind of response if you want to verify the log. So here you can see, right? So get method we are not getting this one. So post method we will get that one. So here like this one is for like slash police slash station API. Now let me copy this base endpoint. Let me go through new tab. So here let me add it here. The next API like let me scroll down. So we use for police API, right? So the next one like we'll use for like the register of the complaint, right? So let me copy this particular endpoint. Let me go through Postman, add it here. So here like this endpoint, while we are using this endpoint, we are using for register any complaint. Here let me modify to JSON. So now let me go through the request. So this is the register API and we will use post method here. So let me modify this get to post here. So here let me copy this particular request payload. Let me copy this one and add it here. Make sure beautify so it will make you like clear each endpoint. So if I send request, right? So this is the response like we are getting like status succeed here, FIR ID, FIR register successfully. So the same response if you go through log as I mentioned before, right? So post method only will get payload response in log. So here you can see this is the path we are using here. This is the method. This is the switch filter criteria, complaint ID this one, victim name here and the complaint type here. This is a switch, how it is concatenating both switch values in a single line. So Mocker will understand like this way and it will call this particular file, this FIR register successfully inside mocks folder. So if you go through this configuration, so you can see, right, while you are passing this particular ID, it will by default Mocker will call this particular file and whatever data it is configured inside this file, you will get this one as a response. Okay, so next one, this one we completed for like successful scenario. So next one, alternative success. So if you want to register one more user complaint, so let me copy this one. So go through Postman here. So here let me beautify and send request. So now like if I go through log, right, so now you can see it is checking this complaint ID, this one, this is the victim name, this is the crime type, and this is the concatenating switch key value. So it will check this key is available in our configuration or not, and this is the file, so it will call by default as per our configuration. So if you see here, this is the new victim details, means the code is 200, and it will call this particular file where register alternative JSON. So whatever data which is exist inside this particular file, we will paste the value and will print as a response. So you can see, right, FIR register forwarded for investigation. This is the new FIR ID and succeed. So this is the way like how the backend is handling by the API mocker. And the same scenario, like see, this is static data, that's why you are getting this kind of static response. In actual response which you are getting from the real system, we will get different dynamic response from the backend. So let's go through configuration here. Next one, like how we will handle this 500 code and registration failed status. So let me go through request payload. This one for failure scenario. Let me copy this one. So here just observe one thing. If I pass this one here, we are not passing any complaint ID, we are not passing any victim name, we are not passing any station number. Beautify this one. If I send request, right, let me go through log here. So here you can see it will call this particular endpoint and it will go through this, it will check the method type is post only. We are not passing any complaint ID, victim names and criminal type theft. Then it is concatenating one like condition is a theft which is not exist in our configuration. If you go through configuration, right, there is two type of switch response is there. This is one switch response key, this is second one, but the third one like which we can visible here, it's not exist in our switch responses. And what it will call, it will go through mocks folder, it will call failed JSON. So how it is calling, so as per our configuration, we are adding here 500 code and adding this particular file, right, whenever we are not getting any particular configuration or like switch key which is not exist in this switch response, right, and by default it will call this particular file and whatever data you configured in this particular file we will get that one. So let me go through Postman. Here you can see, right, failed, unable to register FIR, or missing or invalid data. So this is the way like how we will maintain like for failure scenario of this register failed API. So now let me go through this configuration again. So the next one, like how will after registering a FIR, how will verify the status. So this is the like one endpoint FIR status. So we are using your four type of endpoints. One for like status register, second one like status under investigation, third one like FIR already closed, and the fourth one, if the FIR ID not exist, we will call this FIR not found. So let's verify like how it is working as a real-time scenario. So let me copy this particular endpoint. This is my base URL. Okay, let me go through here. Let me add it here. So what is the endpoint? Let me copy this one. This is a status endpoint. Okay, so let me copy this one properly. So let me go through here. So previous like we completed for register. Now this one we are using for status of this particular FIR. Okay, so let me go through here. So we are using your post method, right? Let me modify this one to post. Now let me go through body and modify this one to raw data. Here also we need to change to JSON because we are passing JSON payload, right? Now let me go through requirement analysis. This one we did for register. There are four type of scenario. So I'm using your four type of ID, means different types of FIR ID, which will help us to show you the status like is it register or is it investigation or is it closed or it is not found. So that kind of scenario, it's already configured for FIR ID, so which will help us to print the response. This is one FIR ID. So if I pass this one, beautify and send request. So let me go through log here. So now you can see that it's calling FIR status register here. The switch key is FIR 1001 and here we are using FIR ID key and this one is the field value. So if you go through here, you can see that FIR has been successfully registered here. This is the FIR ID and the status it is registered. So the next one, like we are using for different ID. This ID we are using for under investigation. Go through payload here. So here beautify and send request. Now go through log again. So here you can see that this is one new FIR ID and it is calling this FIR status investigation, and this is the generation key 1002, and this is the field which we are passing as a like switch key. If you go through response here, right, so the status is under investigation. This is assigned to Inspector Rajesh Kumar. This one is for example, guys. So the status is investigation ongoing, and this is the FIR ID. So this is the way like how I'm maintaining here. So you guys can easily understand the actual data and the static data. So this is the way like how the API is working. And the next one, I'm passing one more different API means different request for FIR ID is different unique one. So let me add it here and send request. So now if I go through log here, right, so now you can see I'm passing here one different ID that is ending with 1001. This is for like switch value. So it's generating one concatenation value. Now I'm passing only one field value, right? So the value is same only. So the match one is it's go through this mocks folder and it will call this FIR status closed JSON file. So whatever data we configured in this particular JSON file, that data it will fetch and it will print here. So the status is closed here. The remarks you can see, right, case solved and report already submitted, and this is the FIR ID. So this is the way like how we can handle this close API close status. So the next one we will use for not found. So let me copy this particular FIR ID, go through payload here, pass this one. So if I send request this one, right, let me go through log here. So now you can see, right, so this is the endpoint which we are using here. This is the switch value I'm passing here. This is an FIR ID. Second one, like generated switch key. This is a switch value which I exported from this FIR ID, and it will check this key is available in switch response or not. So this switch response, right, this switch response, that ID is not exist, right, so it will by default it will call this error code 404 and it will print this particular JSON file. So let me go through postman. Now you can see the error code is 404, right, and this is the status error and no FIR found with the provided ID. Please check the FIR number. So this FIR number is not valid, that's why it is printing this response. So I hope you guys are understand how you will check FIR status, right. So now next one, let me scroll down. So this one is one more API like FIR update here. So let me copy this one. So this endpoint we will update the status of the FIR. So how we will do here? It's a static data. Already the data is updated one only. We will pass the payload and we will get response. So here we will let me copy this one. Let me copy this particular base endpoint. Let me add it here. So now this one is like we will use for update our FIR, right? So let me go through here. We are using your post method. So let's modify get to post body raw data. Here modify text to JSON here. So here what kind of response we will test? Let me scroll down. There are two type of scenario like for update. One for investigations. There is three type of scenario. One is investigation started, progress update, and invalid FIR ID. So same we will see in here, right? So one is like update status here. 1 minute. There is two type of scenario, not three type. So here like FIR update failed here. One is FIR update success. So let's go through this payload. Let me go through here. So one for like investigation started. Let me copy this particular ID. Let me copy this one and pass this one as a payload. So if I send request, right, let me go through response. So now you can see like this is investigation started. This is the update of this FIR ID. So don't confuse like I'm adding, I think wrongly added here. So either we can use this particular witness interview. So we'll create one different file to verify. So is it required or not? That's fine. Like we'll take it as a update. So the next one, you can see, right, investigation started here. So FIR update already successful. So the next one, So if you want to add that one, then we need to add like one more switch condition for interview status. So as of now I think that fine, like we can proceed with next step. So next one, like FIR update failed. So let me go through the requirement analysis here. This one is for invalid ID. So let me copy this one and pass it here. So beautify. So let me send request. So now let me go through log and see the status. So here you can see, right, this is the switch key here, and the status it is calling FIR update failed. So let me go through log. Here you can see that unable to update FIR. Please check the FIR ID or update type. So this is the way like how we can handle this update API. And there is one task for you guys. So I'll give you this code in your Git. Kindly go through that one. Create one sample like switch response. So that switch response, add this configuration. This one is the request payload. Create one sample response and configure that one, guys. So this is a task for you, those who are watching this video at the end. So the next one we will use for close the particular FIR. So let me copy this one. So create one new tab here. Let me add it here. Modify this one to post body raw data. Change this one to JSON. Okay. So now let me copy this base URL. Let me copy this one and add it here. So this one we will use for if you want to close a particular like FIR. So how the actual it is printing. So this is one static data I configured here. One for like successfully close the status. So let me copy this one. So let me copy this particular like request payload. So here I am adding that one, beautify send request. So now let me go through log here. So here you can see that this is the FIR ID. So this is the switch key value and it's calling like FIR close successful JSON, right? So let me go through response. This is the particular postman response you could see, right? Status is successful, FIR closed successfully. This is the FIR ID. Inspector, that is who closed actually. This is Inspector Rajesh Kumar. This is one like actual demo. So the actual like how it is working in production, you will get different kind of response from the database. It will filter. There are multiple ways. So this is one sample like clone data of the FIR. So how you will verify your FIR status. This is the way like how we are handling. So the next one. This is one like a failure scenario. Let me go through payload here. Let me pass it here. Beautify. If I send request with invalid FIR ID, right? Let me go through log. Now you can see that it's checking this particular switch key which is exist in our switch response or not. So if you see here, this is switch response, that ID is not exist, right? This 004. Here only available 001. So by default it will call this 404 code. It will call this particular JSON file and we will get one response. So this is a failed status, failed to close FIR, case not yet marked for closure. So this is the way like how we can handle this FIR close API and the other 4 endpoints. I hope like those who are watching this video till now, they can able to get easily like what all things are going on. So like those who are watching this channel newly, right? So kindly go through my channel, so beyond doubt. So regularly like I'm uploading like technical topics which will helpful and in helpful for your future. So now what we need to do after completing this one, as we already know, like those who are regularly watching my video, we are like uploading all the files, all the request payload and schema payload, everything in a single file. So you guys can easily like test in your site. So let me clear this schema. So it's not required here. See only for request, right? Let me go through here, save as. Here I modify this one to all files. This is mocks folder I'm uploading, guys. So here I'm adding here police FIR, police FIR, police FIR status request. Okay, so you can easily understand like this is the file like I'm using for a request. So now let me close this one. Next one, like this one is for successful response, right? So this is the response already I configured in the backend, so I don't think so this is required for pushing this code to Git. So now let me go through terminal. Let me terminate this session. 1 minute. Let me terminate this one. The next one, what I need to do, let me type your git status. So every video like at the end like I just thought like it's better to push the code, so it will helpful for my subscriber and also upcoming subscriber to direct go through my git and use the git to understand like whatever request I'm passing, because by watching this video making this type of code it's very difficult like looks like. So you can take the code and just watch my video to step by step process. You will get the actual requirement analysis and also whatever topics I'm covering this video, so which will helpful for you guys to understand each step by step process. So now what I need to do, let me add git add dot, so it will consider as a all successful. How I will know? If I execute this git status again, right? Earlier it was like a red color, that is like new changes. So this is like we added like the modified, right? So green color, that means it's considered as a new one. So here I'm adding git commit hyphen m. So here I'm adding like what kind of what is the details of that particular commit. So I'm adding here police API. So you can use any keyword, so that depends on you, the sentence you can easily understand. So I'm adding here the status API. Let me execute here. So now it's doing what? Creating mode, this one. So this all changes already, 50 file already changed, right? So now what I need to do, let me git pull, make sure like there is no existing data I didn't push. Git pull origin. So I'm adding here Narayan hyphen develop. This is my like branch already I created here, right? So if you go through my git here, so here you can see Narayan hyphen develop. So the same I'm adding here. Let me pull whatever data already exists in here. So if there is no data, then I will push this updated changes to that particular git. Now it's showing what here, it is showing up to date, right? So let me modify this one, this pull, right? So let me modify this pull to push. So we will push all the updated changes which you already like created here. So the update changes it will upload to the git. So this user want to like direct clone the data, they can kindly go through my git and they can clone that one. So now let me if I go through here, if I click this API mocker, right? So now let me, here you can see, right, 9 seconds ago Naren develop. If you go to open this API mocker and mocks data, so here you could see here, let me scroll down, here you can see, right, these are all some like files which I just now created, right, 1 minute ago. So here you will get, if you go through my API mocker folder again, this is the configuration file, the updated changes you could see here 1 minute ago. So now the code which we developed here, now it is in available in git. Kindly go through my git and you will get the update source code. And a humble suggestion, those who are watching this video, kindly go through my channel, so beyond doubt. So this channel like regularly like some technical related videos I'm uploading here, which is required in upcoming days in your future, and which will helpful for you guys. So thank you so much, like those who are watching my video, kindly like, share and subscribe my channel, so it will motivate me to make more videos. Thank you so much.